I'm Kelly Odell, Axxess HomeCare Product Specialist. We will be going over payroll in the Axxess HomeCare product solution. In order to run payroll within Axxess HomeCare, you will need to go to the Employees tab, Payroll. Once you click on the Payroll tab, the first item that you must complete within the Payroll Center is to create a pay period. You will see a start and end date for your pay periods. You can place that start and end date by clicking on the calendars. Once you place the start and end date, click Create. This will create a pay period for your agency. You can continue to create multiple pay periods for your agency simply by clicking Pay Period. This will then generate pay periods continuously for your agency. It will automatically place in the next start and end date for you for your next pay period. Many agencies choose to create multiple pay periods at one time. Next, in order to run payroll, you have the option to select the branch you are running payroll for. You can choose multiple branches or run payroll for individual branches at a time. You also can choose to include late tasks, exclude, or show only. What this allows agencies to do is when running payroll for your pay period, if an employee has completed a task late within that pay period, this will include the late task completed within that pay period. If you choose to have a custom pay period, you can create that, or you can select from the pay periods that you have created. You then have the option to select the status. If you're initially running payroll, you can select all in order to pull all the tasks that are ready for payroll. Not finalized, finalized, not paid, and paid are different statuses that you can select from after initially processing payroll. Employee type. This is where you can select if you choose to run the payroll for just employees or contractors or all. Search an employee. If you are looking to search for a particular employee to run payroll for, you can type in that employee's name. And if you choose to search by client or date, you have that option as well. Once you have all the items in place, you will hit the refresh button and your items and tasks that are ready to be pulled into payroll for that date and pay period time frame will come into play and into the view in your screen. So for this example, I have my employee Kelly Odell who has seen client Tony Lee. The payment source is private self-pay. The task completed was a personal care visit standard note. The scheduled date and time was 8/2/2017 from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. The actual visit date and time was 8/2/17, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. So that was a 2-hour visit. The rate set for that employee was $10 a visit. One thing that you can see is if I hover over this visit, due to the date time frame, this date was completed outside of this pay period. So I do have this warning item as it has not been finalized yet and is outside of the date range. So if everything looks good within this payroll, one of the things that you will do is then select that client, and you will see that two options do appear. You can either edit the payroll or finalize the payroll. This tells you that your items have been finalized, and you will also see a little F beside the client's name, letting you know again that the task details and rates have been locked. Always remember that you can unfinalize a task if it has been finalized. Once the task has been marked as paid, you cannot go back and edit that task. So at this point, since my task during this pay period date range, 8/13 through 8/26, is in a finalized status, you now see I have three options. I can edit the payroll, I can unfinalize, or I can mark this item as paid. If I wanted to go back and just look at what I had during this date range and change my status instead of all to what has been not finalized, finalized, not paid, or paid, I can change the status. If I change this item to items that are finalized and hit refresh, you're going to see that Tony Lee for Kelly Odell is going to come up because this item is the only one for this pay period that I have in a finalized state. And I can mark this item as paid. If there is something that is not ready to go within this item and I want to hold this out of payroll, I can leave that check and unfinalize the payroll. So I'm going to change this back and finalize this again and show you how we can edit payroll. Maybe the rate is not correct within the payroll. One of the options you have as an agency is to be able to edit rates within the payroll itself instead of having to go back to your employee and edit the rate within your employee. One of the things to keep in mind is that even though you may be editing the rate within payroll, this does not hold to the employee rate itself. It is just going to hold within the payroll during this time frame. So if I go in and change and look at the finalized yet again, you will see that Tony Lee is available as finalized now. So if I see that everything is ready to go within this and everything looks good now as being finalized, I'm going to check the box and mark this client now as paid. Now remember, once you mark the employee and the client as paid, being ready to go for payroll, you cannot go back and unmark it as paid. You will now see that the item has been marked as paid. You will see that there is a P that comes up beside the client's name. You do have the option to email the pay stub to the employee, but do keep in mind when you're emailing the pay stub, the total amount is this $10. So that is not including the taxes that would come out. That will go through your payroll company. You do also have the option to export your payroll to Excel. So if you choose to export, this will download into an Excel spreadsheet, giving you the option to upload into the accounting firm of your choice. We also have a help tab available to you to walk you through the payroll process from the beginning to the end of payroll. This completes the payroll process.